Archangel Michael says, there is a heavy wind shifting in your direction, one that carries the power of reversal. The energy that once allowed a man to disregard your value is now folding in on itself like a collapsing storm. He had chances, plenty of them, to choose truth over pride, love over ego, light over deception. Now, every word he spoke, every silence he left behind, is echoing back to him like thunder in an empty cave. Type Amen to get blessing 333. You did nothing wrong by trusting. You only did wrong by doubting yourself when he made you feel invisible. There was a moment when you looked at your own reflection and questioned if you were worthy of being remembered. But Archangel Michael says, you were not the problem, you were the test. And now that test has failed him, not you. Type Amen to get blessing 747. You were the rarest presence in his life, unbought, untouched by selfish games, and meant to guide him upward. Instead of rising, he turned away. He ignored the signs and dismissed the divinely assigned voice of clarity. He treated your kindness like noise and your loyalty like a shadow he could shake off. But heaven never forgets who misused what was sent as a divine offering. Type Amen to get blessing 626. He will now replay those moments, slowly, painfully, vividly. The day you called. The moment you stayed. The way you always believed when no one else did. And then the day you stopped. The day your silence roared louder than every cry you'd once sent out. He thought he won by walking away. But he didn't realize what it would cost. Type Amen to get blessing 909. Comment if you're ready to watch God return everything stolen through pain and pride. His friends encouraged him to be distant. They whispered lies, and he swallowed them like poison. He believed you'd never rise without him. That you needed him more than he ever needed you. But now, while you're being lifted, he is sinking in a sea of what-ifs. Type Amen to get blessing 141. He tried to build his life on half-truths and temporary thrills. But the foundation is cracking. Your absence haunts him. Your voice has become the one thing he wishes he hadn't taken for granted. Every smile he ignored, every apology he refused to make, it's returning to him like smoke in a sealed room. He cannot breathe through what he once laughed about. Type Amen to get blessing 484. Archangel Michael says, this isn't about revenge, it's about reflection. What once rejected your light will now see it shining brighter than ever before. He thought he erased you. But now your presence is everywhere, your strength, your rise, your joy. He's trying to forget you, but the more he tries, the more your memory becomes a mirror he can't avoid. Type Amen to get blessing 262. Comment if you've ever been hurt by someone who treated your love like an option. He will see you winning in places he never imagined you could enter. He will hear your name in rooms he can no longer step into. And he will remember the way you loved him, not with demand, but with purity. And that purity will now become the very thing he regrets losing. Type Amen to get blessing 818. He told others you were too emotional, too much, too intense. But now he's the one feeling everything too much, unable to silence the ache of absence. He tried to replace your essence, but no one else fits the mold you left behind. He's now realizing that ignoring you didn't free him, it cursed him. Type Amen to get blessing 373. He may have thought your tears were weakness. He may have believed your silence was defeat. But now he understands, your tears were your cleansing, and your silence was your power. You didn't beg. You simply let go. And now the void you left is teaching him a brutal lesson. There's no peace in pretending someone like you didn't matter. Type Amen to get blessing 292. Archangel Michael says, your rise will not be quiet. Heaven is orchestrating moments where your light cannot be dimmed, even in the corners where he hides. You will be celebrated for what he dismissed. You will be embraced by what once overlooked you. And he will stand in the shadows, watching the spotlight that was once his to honor. Type Amen to get blessing 606. Comment if you're stepping into a version of yourself that no longer seeks approval. He is dreaming about you now, not because he misses the past, but because the future is no longer his to claim. He had access to you during your most sacred vulnerability. But instead of cherishing it, he tried to tame it, silence it, bury it. Now, it's blooming without him. Type Amen to get blessing 171. He is haunted not by your presence, but by your healing. Because the more you shine, the more he sees what he destroyed. You are no longer carrying the weight of being chosen. You are now the one who is choosing, and he's no longer even an option. Type Amen to get blessing 414. Archangel Michael says, divine justice is never late. The angels who saw every tear, every prayer, every silent scream, have begun reversing the imbalance. He who once said, you'll regret losing me, is now hearing the same words in his head about you. But this time, no one's chasing. Only consequences are. Type Amen to get blessing 848. Comment if you're done chasing what is already beneath your new level. You don't need closure from him. You don't need an apology to bloom. Your story is no longer about proving your worth, it's about protecting your peace. He will scroll through your life like pages of a book he cannot rewrite. Type Amen to get blessing 525. He ignored the signs. He ignored your spirit. He ignored your worth. But now, heaven has made your name unforgettable in his atmosphere. He may avoid your name publicly, but in his silence, he whispers it to the wind. And every whisper carries regret like a weight. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Archangel Michael says, your blessing wasn't delayed, it was being guarded. Now, the gates are opening. What was held back due to interference is now flowing freely. The hands that once dropped you are now shaking with the realization that they let gold slip through. They fumbled what was never meant to be tested. Type Amen to get blessing 191. Comment if you're ready for blessings that come with no strings attached. He is being exposed. Not in front of people, but in front of himself. The mask he wore while talking down to you has fallen. And what he sees in his own reflection terrifies him. Because now, he's looking into the eyes of the man who chose loss over love. Type Amen to get blessing 646. He is repenting, but not to you, to the universe. To the force that now denies him access to your peace. He never expected your silence to scream louder than your love ever did. But now, Silence is the only language that speaks to him. Type Amen to get blessing 404. Archangel Michael says, your protection is activated. He cannot reach you anymore, not spiritually, emotionally, or energetically. Your value is guarded. Your purpose is sealed. Your future is too sacred for his broken hands. You are no longer healing for him, you are healing for you. Type Amen to get blessing 919. Comment if you're ready to walk into rooms your past can no longer enter. The man who ignored you will watch as others celebrate the very things he belittled. He will see you being chosen, loved, respected, without bending or begging. And it will burn quietly inside him, knowing that your best version came after his goodbye. Type Amen to get blessing 112. You are not the same. You are stronger, wiser, more aligned. You are no longer waiting, you are moving. He can no longer catch up to what has already outgrown him. And that's his true punishment, not your absence, but your evolution. Type Amen to get blessing 787. Archangel Michael says, your crown is not broken, it was just waiting for you to realize you were born with it. Wear it now. Walk forward. Leave the echo of his regret behind you. Because what God has planned next for you, he will only be able to witness from afar. Type Amen to get blessing 300. He sits in rooms filled with noise, but none of it comforts him. The loudest sound he hears is your silence. A silence that wraps around his heart like a warning. You gave him more chances than he deserved. More grace than he ever appreciated. Now, heaven has sealed the door, and what's behind it is no longer his to claim. Type Amen to get blessing 919. He will watch others admire your light, but he won't be able to approach it. Your glow has become too divine, too refined, too healed for someone who ignored its flicker when it was soft. He confused your gentleness for weakness, your patience for naivety. But your absence is now the proof that you were the one holding the balance all along. Type Amen to get blessing 858. Comment if you know your absence will be louder than your presence ever was. You were never meant to beg someone to see you. You were meant to walk away so heaven could show them what they missed. He now scrolls through pictures, rereads messages, tries to summon back what he threw away. But what's gone isn't just you, it's the version of him that had your trust. Type Amen to get blessing 121. He once thought walking away gave him power. Now he's learning that walking away from light only plunges you into shadow. He created space between you, thinking he would find something better. But all he found was silence, emptiness, and endless memories of you rising. Type Amen to get blessing 464. Archangel Michael says, his pride has become his punishment. He believed ignoring you would free him. But it only chained him to regret. You were the key, the calm, the voice that covered his storms. And now the storm is all he has left. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Comment if you're not looking back, only forward, where peace and power await. He may try to return, but it will be too late. He had his chance when you were soft and full of grace. Now your heart has healed in a new dimension where his energy cannot survive. Type Amen to get blessing 818. You are not bitter. You are better. You are not stuck. You are sacred. Your light didn't dim because he left, it grew because he did. His departure was the pruning, and now your garden is blooming without his hands. Type Amen to get blessing 222. Archangel Michael says, the world will soon witness what heaven already knows, you were never the broken one. He was the one who couldn't handle your completeness. You were whole, radiant, real, and he was afraid. So he ignored the one thing that could have saved him from himself. Type Amen to get blessing 313. Now you are unreachable, not because you moved far away, but because you've grown too high. Your prayers, your tears, your strength, they built a ladder. And now you are standing on the final rung, where his words can no longer reach. And from that height, you will only rise more. Type Amen to get blessing 414. Comment if you've turned every heartbreak into holy ground. He once sat where he could have nurtured your destiny. Instead, he became a lesson within it. You don't need him to come back. Because what's coming next will be so divine, he wouldn't even recognize the new you. Type Amen to get blessing 234. The path ahead is sacred, glowing with every step you've survived. The pain turned to purpose, the loss turned to alignment. He ignored you, but heaven promoted you. And now, everything he wished you'd never find, joy, healing, love, is about to overflow. Type Amen to get blessing 808. Archangel Michael says, you are walking into a season where no ghost from your past can hold you hostage. The regret he feels will never match the strength you've gained. His absence gave you clarity, courage, and wings. He can't break you now, he already built you. Type Amen to get blessing 383. He is no longer your story. He is your testimony. You will speak of this pain as the bridge to your breakthrough. And while he withers in silence, you will dance in your deliverance. Your life is no longer attached to his choices. Type Amen to get blessing 177. Comment if you've stopped seeking closure and started building your future. He missed it, the moment, the miracle, the masterpiece that was your love. And now his soul trembles each time your name is mentioned. Not because he hates you, but because he remembers who you were, and what he lost. Type Amen to get blessing 550. Your name will rise in places where only grace could have placed you. Your face will shine in rooms that once closed their doors on you. You are being rewritten into victory, and his part is no longer needed in this chapter. He wrote himself out when he chose pride over presence. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Archangel Michael says, you will not be mocked by the past any longer. You are being embraced by favor, wrapped in restoration, sealed in truth. The man who ignored you cannot block what God has already assigned to your destiny. His regret is real. But your reward will be greater. Type Amen to get blessing 696. This is your divine comeback. One where no apology is needed, because your healing is enough. Heaven saw what he did. And now heaven is about to show what it means to elevate the chosen. Watch the man who thought you were forgettable remember you forever. Type Amen to get blessing 818. Comment if you know the man who ignored you is now being ignored by peace. You were the realest thing that ever entered his life. Now you're gone. And nothing real remains. But you? You are rising, glowing, untouchable, unshakable. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Archangel Michael says, walk forward boldly. Let the regret stay where it belongs, in the hearts of those who didn't recognize your value. You've waited long enough. Now it's your time. Let him regret. You rejoice. Type Amen to get blessing 999. He still replays the last words you said, hoping to find hidden meaning or mercy between the lines. But those words weren't a goodbye, they were a warning that you were done shrinking yourself. He thought you were bluffing. But now he knows your silence was final. And in that silence, your strength was born. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. He checks your profile secretly, watches your movements from a distance. Not to reconnect, but to regret that he let something sacred slip through his careless hands. What he once found too familiar now feels unreachable. He ignored the gold because it came without demand, but now the absence demands his attention every day. Type Amen to get blessing 363. Comment if your silence has become louder than your love ever was. You didn't lose anything. You shed the weight of being misunderstood. He lost the one who would have stood by him through fires, storms, and darkness. And now, he sits in the dark, realizing you were his only light. Type Amen to get blessing 717. The tables have turned without revenge, without spite, without manipulation. Heaven did the work for you. Every time you chose peace over reaction, your blessing multiplied. Every moment you didn't retaliate, the universe documented your patience. Type Amen to get blessing 505. Archangel Michael says, now is the time where joy will scream louder than pain ever could. The man who ghosted you, who rolled his eyes at your tears, will now pray for another moment in your energy. But this time, your door is locked, not in bitterness, but in divine preservation. You are being protected from any soul that once made you question your worth. Type Amen to get blessing 131. He pretended not to see you, hear you, feel you. But even now, your energy haunts every place he goes. Your scent still lingers in his memory, your voice still echoes in his quiet nights. He didn't just walk away from a person, he walked away from his healing. Type Amen to get blessing 858. Comment if you're walking into rooms that don't carry the scent of betrayal anymore. Every blessing coming to you now will arrive without confusion, without fear, without delay. The man who ignored you thought he could return any time. But he didn't know that once a door is sealed by heaven, no man can open it again. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. His new life doesn't feel like peace. It feels like punishment wrapped in pretense. Even when he smiles now, something inside him crumbles. Because that smile used to be real only when you were the reason. Now all he's left with is pretending to be okay while watching you thrive. Type Amen to get blessing 727. Archangel Michael says, the judgment of regret is harsher than any anger. And he is now living in that judgment. Not because you cursed him, but because he cursed his own soul by denying what was pure. You didn't need to seek revenge. You only needed to move in silence and let the divine winds carry your story upward. And now, that story is louder than ever. Type Amen to get blessing 3838. He's lying to his friends, claiming he's moved on. But the truth is, every woman he meets is compared to you, and none measure up. Because he didn't just lose a partner. He lost a divine connection. And those don't come back once broken by pride. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Comment if you've become too healed to entertain chaos again. Your life now has a glow. Not from makeup, not from fashion, but from spiritual strength. You are untouchable by people who once thought they could play with your emotions. You've grown into someone even you are proud of. Type Amen to get blessing 4242. The man who ignored you has become a lesson stamped in your history. You no longer crave his apology. You carry your closure in your growth. His name will not echo in your future, only your testimony will. Because what you survived has now become the very foundation of your next miracle. Type Amen to get blessing 646. Archangel Michael says, those who walked away from you will now witness you being celebrated. Not because you sought revenge, but because you chose divine alignment. And in that alignment, every seed you planted in pain is now bursting into bloom. Your healing became your harvest. Type Amen to get blessing 888. He wanted to watch you suffer in silence. But now, you suffer no more. You're singing. You're creating. You're rising. He's still stuck in a past that no longer includes your name. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. Comment if your strength now speaks louder than your heartbreak ever did. Your joy is multiplying, your clarity is sharpening, and your destiny is being fast-tracked. Because when someone plays with what was holy, they lose favor. And when you protect your energy, you gain spiritual promotion. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. He's trying to rewrite the story now, telling others you changed. Yes, you did. You changed into someone who no longer waits to be loved correctly. You changed into someone who no longer accepts half-effort and broken promises. He didn't expect that growth would make you untouchable. Type Amen to get blessing 515. Archangel Michael says, the highest form of revenge is your peace. The most powerful clapback is your silence. And the truest transformation is the one they can see but never touch again. He'll watch. But he'll never access this version of you again. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. He's sitting in rooms with people who don't really know him. And all he's thinking about is the one who saw his soul, and still stayed. You were never too much. You were just too sacred for someone who didn't honor your energy. He sees it now, but it's far too late. Type Amen to get blessing 121. Comment if your light is no longer available to people who once dimmed it. You no longer flinch when his name is mentioned. Your heart no longer sinks when you remember his silence. Now, your name is being lifted in the heavens. And his name is being buried in your past. Type Amen to get blessing 7171. He ignored you, rejected you, dismissed you. But now, every time he closes his eyes, he sees you smiling without him. And that will be his forever, memories of the one who slipped away. You are gone. But your absence still teaches him. Type Amen to get blessing 636. Archangel Michael says, you are the chosen one. The one who was buried in pain but resurrected in power. He left you for dead. But God raised you to glory. And now, your walk is crowned with favor, not regret. Type Amen to get blessing 9191. Your story will inspire others who were once ignored. Your victory will be the proof that silence doesn't mean weakness. You are not forgotten. You are remembered, celebrated, and rising beyond reach. He will regret every word, every moment, every decision. But you? You will never look back again. Type Amen to get blessing 1010. He wakes up in the middle of the night, heart racing, drenched in thoughts of what he destroyed with his own hands. The one he ignored has become the one he now silently prays to see again. But that chapter is closed. The story has already turned. And he is no longer a character in your new life, just a footnote in your testimony. Type Amen to get blessing 6060. Comment if your life has become too full of light for old shadows to dwell in. He doesn't understand how you rose so gracefully after such disrespect. He expected you to crumble, to break, to fade into the background. But you became a storm of strength, a fire of purpose, a pillar of victory. Type Amen to get blessing 919. You were once a soft place for him to land. Now, you are a mountain no longer reachable by those who once overlooked your worth. He spoke carelessly, forgetting that the universe listens. And now, every cruel word is returning to him, not in punishment, but in clarity. Type Amen to get blessing 303. Archangel Michael says, divine justice is unfolding silently, swiftly, surely. You're not just healing, you're being honored in realms he can't enter. He asked heaven for peace, but it was you that carried it. And because he rejected you, peace is something he may never know again. Type Amen to get blessing 4747. He sees your glow now and calls it luck. But this is not luck, this is divine favor for the pain you endured. He doesn't know the nights you cried, the mornings you rose anyway. He only sees the shine, not the shadows that helped shape you. Type Amen to get blessing 2828. Comment if you've turned every wound into wisdom and every loss into legacy. He tries to distract himself with meaningless conversations and shallow connections. But nothing fills the void of losing someone whose spirit was real. He once laughed at your loyalty. Now he weeps in the silence of your absence. Type Amen to get blessing 212. You are not just a memory to him, you are the standard now. And no matter how many people he entertains, your essence follows him like a mirror of truth. He didn't realize you were the light in his dark room, until the room became too dark to navigate without you. He regrets, not because he was rejected, but because he was the one who did the rejecting. Type Amen to get blessing 7373. Archangel Michael says, this was never your defeat, it was your deliverance. Heaven allowed the separation to prepare you for a love that honors you completely. The man who ignored you was only ever meant to be a bridge to your rebirth. And now you walk with holy steps over everything that once held you down. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. He is trapped in a cycle of repeating mistakes, still chasing what you once gave freely. But your love was never meant to be recycled by someone who couldn't see its value the first time. Now, that love is being planted in richer soil, where it will bloom fully. Without deception, without doubt, without delay. Type Amen to get blessing 111. Comment if you're done watering dead gardens and now walking into divine harvest. He used to say you were too much. Now he realizes he wasn't enough. He mocked your emotions, but now wishes he had someone who cared that deeply. He tried to dim your light, but now it blinds him from a distance. Your elevation is now the very thing that humbles him. Type Amen to get blessing 5858. He didn't understand the difference between attention and connection. He wanted eyes on him, but never considered the value of having your soul beside him. Now, the spotlight he chased feels empty. And the glow you carry feels like home he'll never return to. Type Amen to get blessing 757. Archangel Michael says, "You are not forgotten by heaven." Every delay was a setup for divine display. The man who ignored you will now see your life unfold in beauty and abundance. Not because you proved anything, but because you aligned with everything meant for you. Type Amen to get blessing 4949. He told people he moved on. But you were never something to move on from. You were a divine encounter. A miracle misunderstood. And now, every substitute he tries feels like sand slipping through his fingers. Because you cannot replace what was heaven sent. Type Amen to get blessing 3232. Comment if you're too healed to ever return to what broke you. He underestimated your silence. Thought it meant you didn't care. But now he realizes silence was the final protection, heaven pulling you away before destruction hit. You didn't walk away. You were rescued. Type Amen to get blessing 8888. You were the safest place he never appreciated. The purest heart he never protected. Now your energy is guarded, shielded, watched over by forces he can't reach. And all he can do is remember. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. Archangel Michael says, your name is now being spoken in rooms of blessing. While his name is being echoed only in chambers of regret. Your joy has outgrown the pain, and your future has outshined the past. Let him watch. But do not let him return. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. He missed his moment. He misjudged your depth. He mishandled your loyalty. But heaven never misses. God never misjudges. And you never truly lost. You only got redirected toward glory. And now you will shine so brightly, even his regret will bow. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. Comment if your crown is back on, and no one can knock it off again. The man who ignored you will live with the echo of your name. But you? You will live in the sound of your own freedom. Your time has arrived. Your season is now. He is the past. You are the prophecy. Type Amen to get blessing 9999.